All right, it's important today to talk about the upcoming rain as it's gotten a lot heavier on some of the recent forecasts. So I just want to concentrate specifically on how much rain is forecasted, not exactly how it's going to get here. The upper level low is going to sit, it looks like, over in this area here, and it's going to spin around for a few days and slowly kind of move in this direction. And what we're getting here is we're getting a strong fetch off the jet, and it's going to bring in moisture off the Atlantic. And somewhere there's going to be an axis of a lot of rain. Where that axis set up is going to be interesting. I mean, this thing has shifted from being maybe here. Let me do black. Maybe it will help. It shifted from this area. Can't really see that either. Over in this area to the east, and it's moved further west now, so it's out. Could this be shifting a little bit more? I'll tell you, some of the models this afternoon, or I should say this morning, runs kind of shifted a little further west. So is this a trend to the west? Has me a little bit concerned, and as we get some of the orographic effects of some of the higher elevations, we could see a lot of rain. So what does the Weather Prediction Center actually forecast in totals here? In general, it looks like about 3 or more inches of rain could happen over the next couple of days. And then you see a bullseye showing up here of about 7 inches of rain in the southern part of Pennsylvania. So we got to be on the lookout. So there are concerns there for excessive rain. And sure enough, from tomorrow tomorrow night into Thursday morning, there could be some flooding in this area here. And then as you go ahead in time, and now that we're getting into Thursday, in the true rain, you're seeing a moderate risk up here in Maryland, right up to about the Virginia border. I mean, realize that this area has been very dry, but I mean, this amount of rain, 3 to 4 to 5 inches of rain, could be really bad. Now, again, where that line sets up exactly will make a huge difference as to who gets major rains. And within 10 to 15 miles of each other, you could get a big difference in the amount of rain that falls in one area. You get these micro scale like lines or chains of precipitation. But we're known, I mean, this time of the year we do get these setups sometimes. The oceans are very warm, so if you get a jet to come off the ocean, you can get a lot of moisture into an area, as we've seen in southeastern Virginia, and we've seen in some other areas along the eastern parts of the region over recent weeks. So what I wanted to show today is that the front that came through yesterday is slowed and stalled along the southeastern part of the state of Virginia. Thus, eastern areas are getting some rain from that system. It's not totally cleared out. Northern parts are in a beautiful cool air as we get between two systems here. And here's the upper level low. It's going to dive down to this area and kind of continue to hold this front in place. So what we're going to see as we move in time, we see some more development of rain and the stationary front moving back. And then we see it kind of getting hung up there. Here comes the upper level low, and they start to interact with each other. So we're getting more moisture into the region. By tomorrow afternoon, rain should be breaking out into parts of Virginia that hadn't seen it before. And by Thursday now, tomorrow night, really around 7 p.m. or so, you're seeing the rain really get set in. Chance of even thunderstorms, and you see all this combining of all these different fronts and moisture, and we're just going to see a lot of rain. A low in this region really does favor this area for very heavy rain, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see these totals go up on some of the later maps. I'm hearing even from a friend as we speak of even more wet weather now coming into play for tomorrow night and Thursday, so maybe the totals are going to go up. I'll take a look really quick as I pause. So so you see what this is, the American model, the GFS model. It's spitting out precipitation amounts, and you can see this area is seeing a lot of moisture, and the 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, and then you get a couple of jackpot areas. And this is back over where it had been jackpotting before with 7 inches. Whereas now the National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center has a jackpot up in here. I'm going to say it's anywhere in this region. Somewhere there's going to be a chain of very heavy moisture. This, again, is a GFS. It's not saying that this is the right model or it's going to be the right and total amount of rain, and this may not even be done yet. Actually, it is, because it's through Saturday. So, yeah, this should be all the rain that we get over the next couple days. So this is not to panic you by any means. This is the NAM 4-kilometer area. This is a very high resolution model. It's trying to depict exactly where rain is, and it overdoes rain all the time. So don't freak out when you see these amounts. But what I'm instead trying to show you is that some band, because you have a lot of rain, I don't think we're going to see these 8-inch rains and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7-inch rains here in this region at all. As you saw in the GFS, it was over here. So where this sets up, as I said, is going to be important. 5 to 6 inches seems to me to be the threshold. Somebody may get 7 inches, but it's going to be very isolated. I don't think it's going to be all this huge area. Got to see, though. Here's where the upper level low sits and where that jet sets up, and there's a lot of moisture to work with. So we'll see how things pan out. Didn't mean to freak you out with this. Don't panic. These are often overdone. This is by the good friends at Pivotal Weather. I definitely want to plug them. They're a neat weather site for model depictions. If you're interested in them, they go through a lot of different models, and I think it's worth a view. So take a look at their site. So beyond the next couple of days, what does it look like in the long term? I'm not going to go into it again. We've said above normal temperatures looks to be the rule, at least the rest of the month of September and into the first half of October, from what I can tell. Precipitation along the coast may be normal, or it could be slightly above normal, depending on what happens with some tropical activity. I'm not going to raise any alarms, but I'd say it's interesting. There could be a system off the East Coast next week that we do have to watch. Whether or not it comes on shore or not is a little bit of a question right now. Everything seems to be turning it out to sea, but there are interactions that could occur that could bring it on coast, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a hurricane to cause a lot of trouble, as we saw last week with the remnants of the tropical storm that was over the southeastern part of the state of Virginia and meandered down in North Carolina. So don't think that just because it's not a strong storm, it can't cause a lot of problems. So let's watch that. But all for now is a lot of information. The most important message is a lot of rain over the next couple of days. Do not drive through rain. Don't care who you are. You don't know if a hole opened up in some way underneath that water and you could put your car right into it or put yourself in life danger situation. Heaviest rains right now are in Maryland, possibly backing up into Virginia, mainly northern part of Virginia up into Maryland, and along the eastern part of Maryland as well. And it looks like the National Weather Service right now feels like Pennsylvania is going to be the jackpot right there at the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. But, I mean, as I said, there's going to be some line that sets up a very heavy rain, 4 to 6 inches, maybe 7 inches in that area. I think a general 2 to 4 inches seems to be possible in the region. All right, stay safe.